today? How are you today? Good evening, Temi Pauline Ho. Good evening. How are you today? Tell us where you are joining us from. Welcome to the Mentor Show. Welcome. Okay. For those on YouTube, welcome. Those on Facebook at Layade, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the Mentor Show. Ife, how are you doing today? Welcome to the Mentor Show. Welcome to the Mentor Show. Welcome. Tonight is going to be a great one. While we wait for our guests tonight, good evening, Obam's Innocent. You are who you are, yesterday, today and forevermore. What you say is what you do. Welcome to the Mentor Show. You are faithful to the end. Faithful God, I worship you. I worship you. Good evening. I am B.E. Sekinat. Good evening. Welcome to the Mentor Show. We're waiting for our guests tonight. You call yourself in my life, and I've come to realize. Hey, our guest is here. Great. You're too faithful to fail me. Great. You're too faithful to disappoint me. Hey, great. Our guest is here. Let's stop this singing and let's go for our drum roll. Drum roll for our guest is here.
The drum roll. Should I roll the drum at this?
I'm already running this here. Yeah, welcome, sir. Welcome to the Mentor Show.
Thank you very much. I hope the light is bright enough.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, we can see you. Yeah, we can see you. We can see you. We can see you.
Yeah, I'd actually sent you a chat on
On WhatsApp? Sorry.
No, we are here.
Please hold me. Just give me a minute, please. Yeah, sorry. My wife just came in. I was calling, so I just need to know.
Family first, then.
Come again?
I said family first.
Yeah. Okay, is there any link? No, we normally join. Apologies. We normally join just when I come on live. Then you just join that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome. Okay, let's go ahead now. Let me have our intro Then we're going to
Strap
meet.
yourself in
Welcome.
because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Hello, welcome. I'm Dr. Olushola Ajide, your host on the Mentors Show, where we inspire you, help you reinvent yourself, and make a positive impact in your community, in your country, and on your continent. We mentor people across Africa. We bring you guests with inspiring life stories who are themselves transformation agents, making a positive change in their profession and nations. Subscribe to the African Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Excellent. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mentor Show. I'm your host, Dr. Olushola Ajide, and you know how it is on the Mentor Show. On the Mentor Show, we inspire you. On the Mentor Show, we help you reinvent yourself and we bring you ideas that would help you to become a better version of yourself and to make a positive impact in your community, in your country, and on your continent. And you know how it is. We'll bring you guests who are doing exactly that. And tonight, we are privileged to have one of such people who is doing great and marvelous things, even impacting and influencing his own personal space. Tonight, we are privileged to have on the show Mr. Busiayomi Layade, who is a chartered accountant, a chartered accountant of repute. He's been married for 17 years, blessed with 3 beautiful, wonderful children, and is a true breed accountant with over 22 years experience in professional services world. And Mr. Layade has worked with the 2 of the big 4 in the space in Nigeria. He's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. He's a member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. He holds a BSc in Finance from the prestigious University of Lagos, Akoka, Yaba, Lagos. He obtained an executive MBA from the Lagos Business School, Nigeria. So he said, the way he said, he can be seen as somebody who is homegrown success story. So great to have Mr. Layade in the hot seat of the Mentorship tonight. Welcome, sir, to the Mentor Show.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ajide. It's a pleasure joining you. Thank you for giving me the privilege to be part of this great thing that you are doing. Anything that is done to bring other people up is something that is worth, that is always worthwhile. In the next 100 years, people will still make reference to things like this, and that's really what legacy is about. Not just about your name. All of us, I mean, the name is important, but not just about handing the baton to your child, but rather legacies you were able to build. And if people can look back and say that I'm great because of Dr. Ajide, then I think you've done marvelously well. So,
kind of person we have on the show tonight. So let's go for it, sir. Who is Mr. Busiayomi Layade?
Okay, I think you said it part of it majorly. So, one, I'm a child of God. I believe in humanity.
Okay.
Having grown up and looking around and seeing what the world has to offer and what people have to offer, I've come to realize that if any of us goes to the hospital and gets our blood drawn for the purpose of a test, whether we are black, brown, red, yellow, white, or whatever color, it's still the blood that's going to flow out in red. Even for us that are, probably said to be the blue-blooded ones, we that are of royal status.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's still red blood that's going to flow out of our veins. And what that means is that, of course, if we drill down to the nitty-gritty of it, everybody is a human. So any way to help, the difference between you and I is that I'm here, you're there, I'm black, you're white, or not you anyway. You understand?
Yeah, get it, yeah.
I'm Nigerian, you're puts all of us in the same condition out in the cold, freezing cold. And I do hope you are keeping warm because I understand the cold in UK is so people you freeze if you're in the desert. You need water, right? So humanity, regardless of who you say you are and what you believe in, and whatever ideology or religion or anything, but still human. So that's me. I believe in humanity. I'm, like you said, married. I'm really married to my wife, 17 years and counting. Last week I attended a pro.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our guest is still coming back. He was informing us of the key point of the fact that we are all human. In other words, there is no superiority based on skin color or knowledge or whatsoever, because we are all human, because we all is going to be back, because we all exhibit the same characteristics. So, and this is very important. Yeah, this is what he was saying is very important in the sphere of what goes on in the world today. To know that, yeah, you're welcome back, sir. Yeah.
I guess that's technology for
Yes, 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 yes. You were at the point of you went for a wedding last week or thereabout.
Yeah, for the wedding, and the cake designer stood up, and the MC, in their characteristic way, was toasting her. That, oh, the cake is so beautiful, madam. In fact, you must come with me. So I turned to the husband and I said, I hope you're not jealous. So, and the man goes, jealous after 30 years of marriage. If he wants to take that now, he can take it. Years of marriage, I looked at him, I didn't do 30 years. As in married for 30 years, I was like, wow. I said, okay, for me, another target. When we get 30 years, we'll do the target of 50 years. And so forth. But you see, that's also part of me. Also always looking forward to stretch the barrier to achieve. So let me just say this quickly. Yeah, we all have our long-term goal. We all have our 20 and 30-year plan and so on. But I think the easier way, like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. But at least we put, daily, every day. And that, you have your short targets, and then you have your long targets, but you have your short-term goals that you use to achieve them. So same thing, I set the targets, we achieve it, we set it, we go, and we keep going. So that said, that's about me. Three blessed children, grateful to God for that. And again, they're not just blessed. Yes, they are blessed, but also, my wife and I, we come together and we decide, intentional about disciplining them, intentional about training them, intentional about teaching them, because children learn. We are all, every human being is a creature of learning, right? So the question is, what are they learning? If you don't train them, if you don't teach them, they will learn it somewhere else, and somebody else will teach them. So the same way somebody taught you mathematics is the same way. If they don't learn it from you, they'll learn it from somewhere else. Or let's put it this way: the same way you and I are speaking English. The only difference we are speaking English is because we weren't born in China. If we were born in China, we would have learned Chinese,
Mandarin,
right?
Yep.
Or Mandarin.
Yep.
We would have learned Mandarin. But now we have learned English because of where we are, geography. So we learned it because we are creatures of learning. Now have the extra mile to learn more than one thing, more than one language. So you have the people that can speak like us, Yoruba, and English. Then you have those that have gone the extra mile to speak Kaba and speak French and Portuguese and okay. So we're intentional about that, about learning, training them, and that makes them more blessed, because we don't only train them and say don't do this, don't do that. We also tell them why they mustn't do it. We actually sit them down and say, look, this is the reason. Another thing I would like to say here also, as I speak, is that yeah, and at times we also do this thing. We show them pictures, right? We show them videos. We snap a lot of pictures and videos, and we show them. And part of it is so that tomorrow, if somebody out there wants to confuse them, God forbid.
Mm.
But if it does happen that somebody is trying to confuse them, we can always say that, hey, look at these pictures. Can't you see how happy you were? Which is part of what we still do now. Say, hey, can you remember we love you? Can you remember? Can you see that we love you? Can you see these things? Can you see? Look through the albums. Then it rekindles something in their mind. So it's just a reminder to say, hey, look, don't get confused. We may say something that you think you don't like, but remember that it comes from a place of love. All right. So I just said I should drop that there.
Wow.
So in terms of my educational background, of course, from nursery school, I don't know if you want to hear as far back as nursery school. I did for tertiary. I went to Unilag, that's University of Lagos, one of the topmost universities in Nigeria. I went to the Lagos Business School. In University of Lagos, I got a BSc Finance, special reference to banking, but I'm not a banker. I didn't go that route at all. I am a chartered accountant, so I went for my professional exams. So I'm now a fellow. I'm no longer an associate. Likewise, I went to the line of taxation. So I'm also a member of the Institute of Taxation. I went for my executive MBA. So I'm not somebody that also believes in just reading or the name of reading. Everybody's reading and reads. Okay, if not, we would have gotten so many degrees at the back of our name. Question I asked, do I need it? Is it relevant? If I think it's relevant, I go for it. So after the MBA, well, of course, different, all sorts of trainings here and there, but those are the key ones that at least I have those certifications for. And so I've worked for 24 years now actually.
Wow.
2 years in an engineering firm, and then I crossed over to one of the big four. That got the name transformed, or transmuted in Nigeria into another one. And I was there for quite a number of years. The accounts function, and I wrote up to the height of the accounts function there. So I led the finance or accounts unit for roughly about 13 years. And then, I got another opportunity to operate the firm where I currently am.
Okay.
So that's the story for now. So that's about me. What else would you like to know about?
It's great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's quite interesting that our guest tonight is unpacking, and you could see that our guest tonight is a person of values. He started by telling you some of the things which he believes, particularly when it comes to the universality of our humanness, that we all have blood in us, and that should make each one of us, you are a guest watching this tonight or you're watching a replay, to know that there is the responsibility on you to cater for other people and look out for other people and ensure that there is no seemingly favoritism or classism, if you like to use that terminology, that all of us, we draw from the same blood and we all respond to the elements just the same way. Our guest went further to talk about the issue of setting goals, and I think that is very interesting, which I believe we are going to come back to pretty much even in this our conversation, about the point of him always setting goals, short-term and long-term goals. And the point he's making is that our short-term goals are critical, particularly the breakdown of that short-term goals in our daily life, the way you lead our lives daily. That is what is aggregation of those daily decisions that lead to our long-term goals. But I'm very interested to know, sir, why and how did you transition from engineering to accountancy? What, what, why an engineer? So maybe today you'd have been a civil engineer or maybe a quantitative person or mechanical engineer. So what led to that transition?
Okay, so I'll need to correct you there. No, I didn't study engineering. I just happened to work in an engineering firm
Okay.
for about 2 years. Okay. Interestingly, though, I remember one of our bankers saying to me that, hey, what's stopping you from leading an engineering firm? And I said, so I guess that should hint you how I was at that time for the guys who have looked at me and thought, oh, you must have been an engineer. I said, no, I just take interest in the industry I'm in. And I would have thought, and I was like, no, you can, that the way you talk about this thing, you seem to do it. So I just happened to work there. But now that you've said so, I once recruited an engineer
Mm.
who, out of the love of engineering, of accounting, went to do ICANN. Before he even had done any job, he had just made up his mind, I don't want to be an engineer. And, well, again, interestingly, at the time I was interviewing him, I wasn't even chartered yet. And but experience, right? So they crossed over, and I use him as one of my success stories when I talk to people that, look, you can transit if you've decided that you want to do something.
Mm.
So I believed in giving him a chance because for the role we wanted him for, it would have been an experienced role.
Mm.
And he didn't have any experience at all, but he had an experience as engineer, and he had a desire and had gone ahead to do the ICANN exams and had qualified.
To prove a point.
Just to prove a point. And for me, I said, look, if he could have done this, and that's how we brought him in. So if I had closed my eyes, I would have just said, nah, don't give me a chance. I need an accountant and moved on.
Mm.
So that just because you mentioned that. So yes, so I think I've answered that question really. I didn't transit, but one that I did or I didn't do was banking. I didn't do banking, so because I studied BSc Finance, I just went straight, to be an accountant and to start off working as an accountant, and that's how I've cut my teeth, as they say.
So what led to you doing accountancy?
Okay, so let's say, I guess some things are in the blood. You look at some families and you see that everybody there is military in one way or the other.
Yeah.
The one that is police, the one that is in the Air Force.
Mm.
So those that surrounded me when I was growing up, starting from my father, Patrick Layade, Patrick, you see me calling him by name, Daddy. And he's in heaven watching this, right? So he was an accountant, he was an economist, trained as an schooled as an economist, but became an accountant and a tax practitioner, one of the foremost tax practitioners in Nigeria, PSC, Layade. So obviously I looked up to him, and I decided now, of course I had uncles and aunties. It was like in my own side of the world, which was why I said you look at some families.
It's
Other
peculiar.
people that did other things, but I would say that those that seem to stick out very well in my own sphere of life growing up were the accountants. Whether they worked as a banker or whether they worked in whatever industry, they were accountants. And one of my cousins that I really look up to now, it's still very relevant in the field, was also one. So while I was in school, he was telling me, oh, I've done my exam, I passed, and I was like, he had seen this young cousin of mine that is doing wonders. And so those things encouraged me. So I just kind of like, whatever I studied, even if I studied medicine, I'm ending up as an accountant. So that was how I zoned in on that. But I guess it's some things are in you, whether you look, which is it, some things are in you. That's why you have some families that are footballers and you wonder, but doesn't mean everybody in the family is. No. So in my family, of all my siblings, I'm the only one that told this line.
Good. All right, take us to when you were 9-year-old. At 9 years old, what were your aspirations? Who were your heroes? Your dream?
child, I grew up pretty much family oriented. So I think I've more or less told you some of my heroes at that time. And I looked up to them because I saw a semblance of what looked like stability. And I think it's quite good for everybody to have somebody they model their lives after. In fact, if you read the stories of quite a number of people that you would say have achieved some measure of success, depending on which angle you are looking at it from. So yes, so my dad was there. Obviously, I did put on him at that time, and I liked the fact that the way he carried himself, and he had a good legacy, a good professional legacy. So I remember his friends used to call him Abu Iba, and when I heard one of his friends call him that name, I used to read because he was a tax man. But one thing all of them also agreed on was that he never stole money because he was in the civil service at a point in time. He never sold his hand, and they all respected him for that. And I could see somebody that still achieved some measure of growth without soiling it. And so that was one person I really did look up to. Of course, I've mentioned some of my mentors as I grew up. But at 9-year-old, I would say arguably that was him. Then what other aspiration did I have at that time was, just to be a success. To be a success in whatever I found myself doing, because I would sit down at home and I'll hear them discuss. I'll hear them discuss about how, one child, that boy, he came out with A1 parallel. We're talking to friend and I'm listening, and I'm like, so this is kind of thing that trips you. Me too. My target is A1 parallel. Well, I didn't get A1 parallel, but at least in my secondary school, I came out with the best results. Excuse me, in my set, right? And again, what happened? It was dogged reading. I just made sure I wasn't distracted. And could I have been distracted? But when I hear people saying, children of nowadays, they're in tougher times than we were, because in our time, there were no handphones. Television was for in my own time, if you want to watch. But I was in a boarding house. But when it was time for exams, I just would block everything, read, sit down in one corner, and do all. So by the time the results came out, everybody was like, wow, you came out with the best results. Now, it wasn't that I wasn't the best, or I was the best student, but consistently, I stuck to it, I focused on it, and I achieved it. My target, of course, was to pass the exam, which I did, obviously. So that was, and so at that time, again, just like I said, my aspirations were, what's the next target? So I blasted WAEC. What did we call it then? It wasn't WAEC, it was SSC. I blasted, what was the next target? Get into university, search for JAM, blasted, it was the next target, I was setting my targets in, okay, which one can I sit down, when I achieve it, get it. So that was pretty much how I was able to do it, and
Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this on this call tonight, on this show, or you are watching a replay of it now, our guest is giving you tips for you to have a successful 2023 already. He's told you about the fact that he looks at what is the next target and sets goals and give everything to it, focus onto it. So the question is, if you're on this call tonight or watching a replay of it, what are your goals for 2023? 2023 can become the best year of your life based on what our guest is telling us tonight. If you set goals, small goals, work towards it, and you will see yourself achieving and fulfilling, just like our guest tonight has been able to achieve all the goals he set for himself. So goal setting, therefore, it will be your great strategy for you to have a best and a glorious 2023. 2023. So, sir, on this show tonight, the key theme is sparking creativity. And of course, people will be thinking, often things, why sparking creativity? Because this show was birthed during the COVID, and there was that, that thought and that critical point of the fact that the workplace is changing, organizations are dying, they are rebranding, they are refacing, they are, changing themselves, and therefore there's a need for an individual also to think of being creative, being innovative, to be able to survive, during that particular period and even after that. And I know in your current capacity, reaching out to all your clients, you would have known that those you are advising and helping them to change their focus. So, how would you, as a person, define what is creativity?
Okay, so like they say, necessity is the mother of invention,
Mm.
right? Um, so first of all, you must have a need.
Mm.
Um, Again, boredom can spark creativity.
Mm.
So maybe if you found out that you are bored, some people. So you hear of some startups, some people, especially those young entrepreneurs, they're
Mm.
innovators, from the company 3 years down the line, 4 years, they are selling it. Why? Because they become bored. So I think the question I would ask is, first of all, are you bored of what you are doing? If you
Mm.
are bored, don't just. So let me use myself as an example. Yeah, me, I'm a career person. Um, I'm here. I got bored at where I was because, like I mentioned, I had headed the particular unit for 13 years. We had grown, of course, I had worked there before heading the unit. So,
Mm.
but I was seated on that seat for that period. But I'd gotten to a point where I was bored
Mm.
because we had innovated, we had expanded, we had made the role better, we
Mm.
had grown in on the solid team.
Mm.
I got to a point where I was sitting down at my desk and putting my legs on the table figuratively.
Mm.
All right. And because the team was running clockwork
Mm.
without me. Um, but I was there. Remember, this is a pre-COVID year, so nobody did also going to the office every day. So there was no, we have this thing we are going to do. It was just now, just getting the screwdriver and tightening it. So boredom is another thing that will spark creativity. So ask yourself, are you bored? Do you think you're tired of what you're doing? If you are, look within or start looking out for something else to do. But back to the first thing I said, necessity is the mother of invention.
Mm.
Look around for what you think is a need. What are people saying? What are people talking about? What are people, even if it's the smallest, sometimes you see something that is an invention and you're thinking to yourself, why didn't I think of this? I went to a restaurant and I was there with a lady, and this kind of hook that looks like it's shaped like that.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
very simple thing, and they hung it on the table and put the lady's bag to hang on it. So the bag wasn't on the floor, it wasn't on the table.
Mm.
I went to another restaurant and they brought a small table just by the side and they put the bag on it, right?
Mm.
So it's an invention. So somebody has thought about it and said, why must my bag be on the floor? And just thought of if we could have a hook. So my advice, in terms of creativity is one, first of all, be open-minded. Be willing to change the narrative. I remember years ago, before technology became what it was, in my former office, there were two solutions we implemented, right?
Mm.
There was one we had implemented, and it didn't work. And I was lucky because we had to fly in somebody all the way. So you can imagine we finished the project, the guy goes and anything doesn't work, and then everybody looks at me and says, okay, so why did we waste all this money? So luckily then my office was in multiple buildings.
Mm.
All right. So in the main office was where the server was. We tested it, it worked. So I said, okay, let's do a test for other users. and we brought in different people from different divisions. Then we went to the other office because that was where there was space, kind of, right? And the thing didn't work, and everybody was confused. And then we discovered that the Nigerian infrastructure at that point in time did not support that technology. Very simple technology, but that was then there was no 4G, there was no 3G. I think it was just the basic phone, the first generation. But fast forward into the future, by the time technology expanded, we weren't even flying those guys into Nigeria again. We would just go on online, of course, through secure channels. They will sit in the office, they will be fixing the problem there before they have to come physically log in. Okay, so that idea of changing, and then I remember now we are talking about money, cashless, right? That was what you and I were discussing this afternoon. And this evening, we're talking about cashless. And I remember a time when we would say, oh, we need to receive funds from clients. Then those are the days of checks. And I suggested once that why must we have a check? Why can't they pay it into their accounts? Why must they bring it to the office? Very simple thing, right? Say, no, the check must come, we must register it, we must, And I was like, but they can pay it together. No. And then I said, I agree, that's what we used to do. I will collect it and take it to the bank. Why can't the person take it to the bank, bring the deposit to the bank, we are done? So there are certain things that are just simple. So it's up to you. Are you satisfied with the normal or with what you consider as the normal? If you are satisfied with it, then you'll be creative, right? But if you are not, and that is why you need to keep pushing your own boundary every day. So in any time I sit down, the next thing you should look around is, what else can I do? What else can we change? Can we make it better? Can we make it faster? Is there another way we can do it? So keep asking yourself those questions. And the more you keep asking yourself those questions, you will be surprised. So anything, even as small as paper pushing. So that's creativity for me. One, don't be bored. Be bored rather. Get bored. So when you get bored, start thinking of what else you can do.
Yeah.
So I think that's one sign. It's like when you are thirsty, it's a sign that you need to drink water. So when you are bored intellectually, it's a sign that, okay, it's time to do something else. And then ask yourself that even that thing that you are doing, that you think you are doing so well, can you do it better? Can you find a faster way to do it? Can you find a shorter way to do it? I watched this movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, acted by Will Smith. I think he was talking of this guy Gardner. I think that was the name of the character he played. And if anybody has watched that movie, there was a part in it where he first got this job in the stockbroking or in the calling, where they are calling people for funds, right? And he said he realized that for every time he wanted to drink water, if he drank a full cup like this, he would go to the toilet faster to wee, right? So he took a smaller cup, or he reduced the number of water he was drinking so that it would take him a longer time to feel pressed. That was one. Second thing was, he also picked the phone. Instead of dropping the phone, then it was the days of ring, right?
Yeah.
Instead of dropping the phone, he would just tap it and start dialing again. That he saved him seconds, and because of those seconds he saved per call, he was able to make more calls than his colleagues. So that's how my mind works. I'm always trying to think and say, okay, what else can we do? How else can we do it? Is there another way to do it? Is there a better way to do it? So the more you question what you have in front of you, then your creativity will bloom. All right.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's good evening, MCID16. Good evening. Welcome to the Mentors Show. And it's quite interesting of the point you made about the fact that necessity is the mother of invention. And I think the challenge there oftentimes is that, like I was speaking to someone yesterday about the fact that we don't often reflect. And I've been guilty of that also, because inventors are people that reflect, isn't it? they think, like we were talking about, looking at the process. Why is it done this way? They've reflected on why the way it is being done, and they felt, why is it done this way? Why can't it be done? And like the example of the check you mentioned, why must they do? But there are people who are who they said, as it was being done, so it is now, and so forever it will be. There are some people who, and those are the people who, when you are trying to bring about change management in the organization, they kick against it. They feel that, no, we've been doing it this way. It's not broken. Why fix what is not broken? Some people are that kind of a mindset. Why fix? But for all of us, and I think this is very important, the point you are making. So if you're on this call tonight, one of the key points I mentioned earlier in the year, one of my earliest, I think the first or second one, is that you can quadruple your income. You can increase your income if you deliver more value in your organization. And one of the key ways which I mentioned there in delivering more value in your organization is what our guest is saying tonight, is for you, how can you improve the processes? How can you improve the process of the way things are done to ensure that you make more, they do more, make things faster, improve the processes. And like I teach in the job club that I run to help people to get employment, into increase profitability, in cut down time, make all those valuable. So if you take this on board tonight, if you're on this call or watching a replay of it, you will be amazed of how 2023 will turn out for you. Just following these simple processes which our guests has told us tonight about. Be open-minded. Don't be closed-minded. Have a growth mindset, and be willing to change or to challenge the narrative. Be willing. So, and you can, like somebody mentioned, innovation. You can start innovation in a very simple way. So if you've been going, when you wake up, you are going to your place of work, you normally follow a particular route to your place of work. So innovation is that today I'm not going to follow this way. I'm going to follow the other way to go to work. That is as simple. That is innovation. You're changing, and as you are doing that, you are bringing a change in yourself that will influence even your work, what you do. Simple innovation. When you wake up, study yourself. When you wear your shoe, you always put maybe your right foot first into your shoe. Simple innovation is to say, no, I'm not going to put my right foot, I'll put my left foot in. That is, you are changing. And those kind of simple things is what will bring about advancement even for you in your career. As we begin to think of dropping this down. So, sir, have you ever experienced any challenge before? And how did you overcome it?
Oh, challenges. Okay, let me see. Maybe self-inflicted ones. So at least I would say that I'm a creature of blessings or a candidate of mercy. So I grew up in what I would call a fairly stable home, and I'm grateful for that. So yes, I don't have all these stories of grass to grace and the stories of no shoes. I actually, yeah, my father wasn't a millionaire or a billionaire. And when I had my first travel, so as in a plane or outside, but at least all our needs were met, as in absolutely and beautifully met. So in terms of challenges, I would say more of my challenges have had to do with overcoming maybe work or studies. All right, it wasn't challenges that had to do with hunger or lack of, being able to pay school fees or things. And like I said, I'm grateful because I didn't have to go through that. But that said, I saw people that went through it. And that was why I talked about I'm a creature of humanity, because even as at that time, I was able to empathize and understand such people. and say that, why would you be in school without that kind of a thing? So without that, so it helped me to start understanding that, look, all fingers are not equal.
Are not equal.
So while I didn't have the privilege of what I said, when some students gather and they're like, hey, where are you traveling for summer? I didn't have all those kind of gists to have, but I was glad that I had that privilege and that opportunity. So my challenges, I would say, had to do with work and had to do with education, in terms of when I had exams, or in terms of when I had problems or issues in the office that I needed to fix. And what I would encourage, in fact, initially today, because of certain things that I remembered, I actually put up a post on my WhatsApp status, and I said, it's at times like this that I remember and appreciate, the privilege. Again, I consider it a privilege to also have worked with good bosses, where if I look through my career, I can actually say that all my bosses, practically all my bosses, were great people. All those sad stories you hear of one boss that is breathing down your neck or harassing you, or male or female, all the bosses I've had. But in this particular case, because of the particular thing I was facing, and I remembered how that guy was, my boss, Yomi, and he was, when he says this is it, no apologies, nothing. He might explain to you if you want to hear, but once he has told you what it is, whether you buy his argument or not, he goes on. But you see, at the end of the day, he's doing it from a pure heart. He's doing it because he's saying, this is what I need to do for you, right? This is what I need to sustain this place. And once he has put his foot down, then that was it. So I know I had certain decisions to make like that, So those are the kind of challenges I would say I've had to face, where I face a new problem, a new kind of problem that I haven't faced. I told my wife recently that in all my career, there was a particular thing that happened recently, and I told her, in all my career, this is the first time I'm ever seeing this kind of a thing. So the question was, run or fight, right? Flight or fight. So, fight or flight. And I remember that, no, you stand and you face it, And of course, we prayed about it. So I remember I said I'm a child of God. So no apology to anybody for that. I declared, we prayed together, said what we had to say, looked at the problems, started thinking, what do we do? Of course, consulted with other people. So that's how, those are the kind of ways I did. I started making calls, started talking to people. Okay, have you gone through this before? What do you think? So I'll say to people that, look, if you face challenges before, then continuous learning. Okay. On Sunday, I was at a talk with Audrey Joe-Eziko, and that had to do with another group. And then I heard that she had a program today, Double Impact. And I went there with my wife, and I said, look, we need to go for this program. So someone might be looking at me and saying, hey, you know it all, like now you've invited me here. I'm not a Mr. Know It All, because even I went to learn. And sitting down there, listening to her. Then somebody else came and gave an economic outlook. And while he was talking, you've seen me also present an economic outlook somewhere. He was even presenting it with much depth and much, more details than I did. And I was like, wow, see the way he packaged it. I know I did something. I mean, I've been told it was great, but I could see another perspective. And from another perspective. At the end of the day, summary, everything we said was practically almost the same. But learning more from more people. Learn from other people. So that's how I face my challenges. It's not by sitting down alone or crying, right? It's by saying, what is the problem? I want to face it head on. Obviously, I can't reveal certain things that I'm But every time I faced it, those are the kind of ways I overcame them. One, I prayed about it. I talked to my wife on my laptop. My laptop is here right now, and I'm telling you, I've stuck something on it. Have you prayed about it? It is there on my laptop at the very top. So when sometimes I'm looking and I'm thinking, as I just look up at my eyes, see it, I'll remember and I'll pray about it. But again, I think then I start counseling, I start calling people, I start calling my mentors. I told you about my cousin. He's one of my mentors today. I've had to take decisions in a few times. I've had to call him and say, let me sound you out. What do you think? Of course, he has more experience than me. At least he gives me about 10, almost 8 to or thereabout years gap. So he's more advanced, he's more experienced in the industry. So I listen to him. He too is turning, I think, 30 years married, I think next year. So I have people I to look up to. And I call them and then I'm like, what do you think? How do you think I should go about it? I hear the perspective. Then I mix it all together, and the one that works for me at that point in time, I go for it. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's
Excellent. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on this call tonight and you are going through a particular challenge, what our guest is telling you, and we have been saying it over and over on this call, on this show, is that please don't apply a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Don't apply a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And that is suicide. Don't ever think.
Let me add.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
sir.
let me add to that. I like the way you said, don't apply a permanent solution to a temporary problem, right? I'll also say, don't apply the same solution to every problem.
Okay, good.
I actually thought that was the direction you were going, but let me just quickly that's it. Because for every challenge I've faced, every work challenge, every education challenge, academic challenge, sometimes the results or the approach had to be different. So I just let me throw that in. So sorry, over to
Great.
you.
Thank you so much for that. So again, the point our guest has mentioned, as saying, don't apply a permanent solution to a temporary problem by committing suicide. Also, like he has rightly pointed, don't apply the same solution to every problem, because every problem is unique, every problem is context-based, every problem is dynamic. And so they might be, and he has given us good examples and good ways of how you can achieve and tackle your own challenges. The aspect of praying. And like I normally say it when I deal with some of people here in the West, I tell them, we often need extraterrestrial support. You need support out of this being, out of this level, out of this terrestrial ball. You need extraterrestrial support to help you overcome some of these challenges. And again, he mentioned the aspect of having a conversation, praying together with his spouse. So if you have a spouse, it's important that you're able to share things heart to heart. Nothing should be so, I think we believe as people of faith, nothing should be so hard that you're not able to share with your spouse. You should be able to be vulnerable, to be able to say, this is what I'm going through. Can you help? Can you listen to me? What do you think? You should be able to do. And the other point he mentioned is learn from other people. There will definitely be people who are mentors, who are people you're looking forward to, people who are your coaches, people you can reach out to. If you're a person that have good people around you, you can be able to reach out to people who have been experienced in that. Because please note this, there is no problem you are facing that someone has not faced before. And if they overcame, you will also overcome. And that's the reason why you need to, instead of being insular, you need to look out and get the wisdom and apply the wisdom, and the Lord would help you. All right, sir, we've taken your time so much. Let's try and wrap up on this. What corporate, for me as a person and as a researcher, my interest is on corporate social responsibility and community engagement. What are the corporate social responsibility or causes that you are passionate and you are involved in, for you as an individual and for your organization as the person steering that place?
All right. So, well, I'm not the one steering.
But you are steering your department.
Okay, so I happen to be the chief operating officer where I am currently.
Yeah.
So largely, let's just say I'm the one So for my organization, it's based on our firm's ideology. Okay. So we are more tilted as a firm to education. Now, education and helping the less privileged, right? So it's not just maybe doing competitions for the most brilliant. It's actually going to look for those ones who don't have the opportunity. You know, like I said in my own story, I don't have the no shoes. So we actually look for those kind of people as an organization. So those I kind of think we champion. Now, as an individual, so my wife is she's an event planner. She's a caterer. She's a decorator. So basically, she's fully into the event space. At the nice catering, and at the nice events. Those are her handles on Instagram. So what we tend to do from her angle is training. So again, you can see somewhat kind of educational. Also, we actually do give to some of the homes in terms of giving like materials, right? Materials or cash to some of the homes, because we believe. I remember reading a book called The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. I've read that book so much, I know. And there was a part in the book where one of the things the richest man in Babylon was teaching people, he said, all your money is not yours to keep. Something like that, a phrase like that, or all your money is not yours to spend. So, and I'm sure if you look across different beliefs, different faiths, different universities or whatever, you would see some kind of thread like that, give. And so leaning on that, I already know that all my money is not mine to keep, meaning whatever I earn, something goes out. Also, a part of it is that personally, I've also, again, it goes back to academics or education. Personally, I've learned also to sponsor people. I was actually particularly thrilled when somebody I had sponsored at one point in time reached out to me and said that, hey, I graduated with a 2-1.
Wow.
I was so excited because everybody was calling me to thank me, that you were there, and I'm like, am I done already? So of course, I had encouraged the person to come out with a first class, but the person came out with a 2-1, which is still, in Nigeria, you know that it's either first class or 2-1. So I was, so those are the kinds so those are the things I have affinity for. So me personally, education focused, seeing people, helping people to grow. I talked at one point in time, I wanted to say, what are my hobbies? I actually wrote it down a few days ago and found out that I really didn't have any special hobbies. My hobbies are helping people. I mean, that was the only way I could summarize it. From when I was small, I was eager to help my older sisters, whether helping them in the kitchen, helping them to carry, helping them, encouraging them to do what they are doing. I realized that was all I had been doing over the years. I had actually tried to track because I didn't have hobby like stamp, but anything I try and start, I would stop because I didn't have any sustained. But when it came to, I'm trying to do something, let me help you do it. My friend wants to drive somewhere, I'll follow you now. They want to go and pick something, I will go with you. So I just summarized it a few days ago and said, that's what my hobbies are. So I think that's again what I've been doing. So those are the kind of CSRs I've been involved in. So I would encourage everybody to obviously do something back, whether you call it giving back to the society, whether you call it whatever, even if it goes back to your primary school and do something, whether it's yourself, find something, do. All what you earn is not for you to keep or for you to spend, or whether to spend on yourself or even on your own children, is still not for you. You need to look for that external thing outside your being, your whole makeup to give.
Thank you so much. Wow. What a nice way to end this session tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have been on the show or watching a replay of it, It's been marvelous having our guest tonight, Mr. Busiayomi, Busiayomi Layade, telling us. And just a quick recap of some of the key points which he has mentioned, which I wouldn't want you to miss. He started by telling us that you can have, even though he didn't say it like that, I'm the one that rephrased it in that way. You can have a wonderful 2023 if you begin to talk about goal setting and begin to set the goals of what you want to achieve in 2023. And he mentioned the fact that there's a need to break it down into small goals, what you want to achieve in the first quarter. And I know based on his profession, they are very good with Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. They're always good telling us that. So you can set it and say, okay, by the first quarter, what you want to achieve and how you are going to achieve that. What are the day-to-day actions that will lead you into achieving that? And he mentioned, and I like what he mentioned about the being intentional. If you have children, of training his children, teaching them and disciplining them and showing them that actually you are loved and this is the reason why. And I think that was a good one. And he, about the fact of reminding the children of the fact that, see, you are loved, irrespective of whatever we are doing. We have your best interest at heart. And he mentioned this key point that necessity is the mother of invention. And the fact that even when you are bored, is calling for you to bring about a new version, to do something new. And don't accept things the way they are. Have an open mind. So for 2023, have an open mind and you'll be able to achieve what you have not achieved before. So have an open mind, be ready and be willing to change the narrative, to do something to bring a change, to make things better, to make things faster, to cut down the time, and to see how else could it be done. And also when it comes to the aspect of overcoming challenges, which I know somebody, Tony Robbins, put it this way: challenges is a proof that you are alive. So challenges is a proof that you are alive. The fact that you need to pray, the fact that you need to do for someone, if you are married, to share together, pray together, hold hands together, and to learn from other people, to know that you're not the first person that will go through that issue. And those key things we mentioned, don't apply the same solution to every problem you have faced. And also don't apply a permanent solution to the problem that is only temporary. Don't end your life, because your life is valuable. And also, he ended by telling us, your money is not all for you to keep. Look at something you can do in the community. Look at something you can change in the community. Look at something you can contribute to and make the world a better place. I want to thank you very much, sir. I understand and I know the cost of you being on this show tonight, of the inconvenience. So we are very, very grateful of how you've spent this evening with us, inspiring our audience. And may God bless you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I am humbled that you invited me in the first place, and I hope that I've been able to impact somebody's life positively.
Yes, you
Thank
have.
you very much.
Yes, you have. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. So, you can also go to my page and look at other sessions we've had. We'll come your way again on Tuesday next week with another guest on the Mentor Show. So, I remain your host, Dr. Olushola Ajide, signing out. So, thank you, everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.